Okay, yeah, I'm here today with Danie from Careerminds, who's kindly agreed to share a bit more about the experience working with Tyck and our virtual assistants. So Danie, thank you obviously for joining me today. It's great to have you on the call. I think the first thing that I'd like to ask is, before we started working together, what was your kind of overall experience with admin and customer service? And yeah, just what was your situation looking like before?
Before we started working with Tyck, I was the one that was managing the admin stuff, and it was getting very overwhelming. The company was growing rapidly, and so we quickly identified a need for some virtual assistants to take over and help support the company.
And what was it that made you to decide to work with Tyck, say over, hiring a full-time employee or perhaps going to a recruitment agency or something like that?
So that that decision was kind of above my position. So I didn't have a whole lot of say in that, but I do know that one of the companies that Careerminds had acquired, Progression, was working with Tyck, and they had nothing but good things to say and how they were able to support them with their business. So we decided to give it a shot, and it's worked out great.
Also, like going back to like the tasks that you were doing before and the things that you were looking to hire for, what were the kind of main things that kept coming up that you're like, oh, it's just taking too much time, or it's just something that you really need to outsource straight away? Like, what were those kind of tasks that kept coming up?
They were basic tech support questions coming in. So like resetting passwords, gaining access to our platform, simple requests from our coaches coming in, just navigating our platform as well. Just day-to-day tasks that I felt were very easy to pass on to somebody else.
How did you find the onboarding process and the setup process? Was that quite straightforward? Did it take a bit of time, or what was your overall experience there?
Onboarding with Tyck was great. I had a meeting with our team on the Careermind side, as well as Maddie, to go over what our needs were and the best way that we could work together as a team. And so she identified where the holes were in the company and the needs, and we set up a second meeting with some team members that she thought would be a perfect fit. So we went over what the tasks would include for that role and took it straight away from there. We identified, the basic outline to ease the onboarding process, and they took it and ran with it and have built it up from there.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find the kind of personal relationship as well with the assistants? Because I know for a lot of people in this kind of field, like it does come down to the people at the end of the day, and it's about who you're working with rather than having like a system or an agency. So like, how do you find like those relationships with the actual virtual assistants as well?
Yeah, so we currently have 3 assistants on the Careermind side that we're working with, and they've all been phenomenal. They're willing to step in and help where needed. If I need to hop on a quick call with them to catch things up quicker than an email string back and forth, they're available. Really able to just tackle any tasks that I ask them to help with.
It's been, I think, several months. I mean, probably almost a year actually. We've been working together now. So how have you found like the experience has evolved over that time? Like, has it changed much? I know obviously the hours seem to have increased a lot since we started, but what's been your like main takeaway from that?
Yeah, it's been great. The tasks when we initially onboarded were simple, easy to do tasks, and it was 2 assistants that were going to kind of split their day up, and it quickly evolved into more than that. We've grown into 2 full-time roles and a part-time role for the assistants, and it's been great. I appreciate the weekly reports that we receive as well to help identify where the time is being spent, where we can make changes on the internal side of it for the Careermind side. Yeah, it's been a great, easy process. There's check-ins with Maddie that have been great as well to level set that too.
What advice would you give to, say, other teams, perhaps in your industry or similar companies who are thinking about working with virtual assistants, or maybe they're a bit on the fence? Like, is there any kind of tips you'd give to them on how to work best with a virtual assistant?
I would probably say, make sure you're able to have some sort of documentation process that you're able to help kind of jumpstart the onboarding process with the virtual assistants, as much information up front as possible, and just continue to work and build those relationships throughout the professional process of it. You can't expect them to onboard and then just drop them and do their own work.
Mm-hmm. looking forward, I know you've got some big plans, and I'm sure you're scaling, very, very fast. What kind of impact do you see virtual assistants and Tyck having, on that success in, say, the months ahead? Hopefully the years ahead, or however long, we work together.
Sure. So the impact the virtual assistants have had, I mean, they've helped immensely just over the past year, just help us to grow as much as we already have. We've opened up our coaching to more of a business to consumer role as well. And we honestly could not have done it without the virtual assistants coming on board, because the workload has just grown immensely. We are continuing to acquire more companies, so we're going to just continue to need their help and hopefully bring on even more assistants that they can help support and train as well.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone out there watching this is curious about having some virtual assistants, then do get in touch and book a call and whatnot. And do go and check out Careerminds as well at careerminds.com.
Absolutely.